Gentlemen, I got to tell you right now, you two have some of the best lines in this movie. Like, seriously, tell me that you had the opportunity to improv a lot of these.
Yes, I mean, look, firstly, shout out to Jeremy Slater who wrote it. Definitely a great script from which we could mess around.
Right.
But yeah, it was pretty clear pretty early on when we met. We were like, oh yeah, we can definitely riff together. And I think each scene we did, we kind of got more and more kind of emboldened to go, let's just try some more stuff. And it was just that kind of chemistry that was accidental, but amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing how much of that actually made it into the movie. And of course, we were encouraged, not only by Simon, but our wonderful producer, Todd Garner. And he was just like, give me more, give me more. And it was some of the most fun stuff that we got to do in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it, because you go, often if you do take after take after take, you can feel a little leaden, right? You can kind of go, I know what's coming next. But if you can if there's a few little improv moments in each scene, it keeps you alive. It kind of keeps your brain has to be firing. And so I think that kind of electricity, comes across.
People were laughing.
Oh,
like,
good.
Seriously, did you get the wristy?
The what?
Oh, no, that's a line.
We actually, neither of us actually seen the movie yet. We want to watch it with an audience.
That's it.
With fans for the first time. But
No, but I'll look out for the wristy line.
Didn't get the wristy.
Dude, it's classic.
Yeah, good.
Not ruin anything, okay? Not ruin anything. Let's talk about the props. Yeah. The toys. I was a guy. Yeah. I zeroed in a lot of these. Did you? What were they like to play with and actually handle and feel and touch?
Amazing. You know what? We had world-class prop department, world-class technicians on this movie. And, this movie is so big. It's made for fans of film. Like, you don't have to be a Mortal Kombat fan or watch any of the movies or play the games to go into this movie and have a blast.
Yeah, I mean, you go into, obviously, when people think of movies like this, they think of the biggest sound stages where it all happens, and that's obviously a part of it. But you go and you see the dozens and dozens of production offices, and you walk through, and you've got sketches of every knife and every amulet and every costume, and that just goes for room after room after room. The detail that goes into all of this stuff, it's remarkable.
It actually reminded me a lot of Lord of the Rings in terms of there's details like on the props and stuff that the audience may never pick up, but they're there. And I think that the reason for that is that the people who made this movie are fans of the game, are fans of Mortal Kombat.
Oh, I noticed. I was zeroing in. I was like, dude, they had to have fun with that.
Yeah.
Okay, between us and the millions watching, did you get to keep anything?
Did you steal anything?
Well, we don't have to put it like that.
Yeah. I can say this. Lewis told me from the first film, Lewis said, you should steal the knife, like Kano's knife. And I was like, dude, I don't know. I hate breaking rules. So I didn't steal the knife. I was good, which is good because he ends up needing it in the second movie. But look, I can say hand on my heart, I was a good boy. I did not take anything. I know Kano would have, but I did not.
Without being too self-incriminating, somehow I did end up with Johnny Cage's sneakers.
How dare you?
His high tops, I took those. And his sunglasses, of course. You're not going to walk away from playing Johnny fucking Cage without taking the sunnies, right?
I'm stealing something next time. That's it.
Dude!
I got to.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Thanks,
Seriously,
man.
I knew this room was going to be so badass.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir. I love it when people say that.
I love it, man.
When I walked in, he goes, Houston, Texas. I love that.
H-Town. What's up, baby?
Love that.
Yeah.
Cool. We're back.
We're
we
back.
actually talked the first one.
Yep.
And
exactly.
that was virtual, and now we get to be in person. I wished it. I put it in the universe. I said, we got to do this in person.
Oh, it's all because of you.
Yeah, thank you, right.
Well,
Thank you.
it was collective.
it was collective.
I think we all wanted that.
We did.
We all
Because
wanted
you know what? This is a movie that needs to be seen as a community in a theater, which is where I
Agreed.
saw it. We were screaming. We were
Good.
yelling.
Come on, bro.
Dude,
Come on, bro.
this is a summer blockbuster.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Did it feel that way making it? Because it's fight after fight after fight. It's nonstop.
I mean, I want to say that I don't think that you ever think about, okay, we're shooting a blockbuster, but I think that deep down the intention is that the world embraces it in that way. And I think that's part of the impetus is why we all work so hard. Like I've never met a group of actors and talented performers who put in this much work for 2 movies that I've seen up close and personal. Like we're like a lot of us are shooting 12-hour days, and also in the gym, and then also doing fight choreography, you know, on our free time. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that you're saying that.
No, for real. I mean, that's what it looks like. That's what it feels like. Talking about that, I noticed specifically with your characters in sync, you know, working together, coordinating, getting everything together. How long does it take to get things together as an ensemble for a movie like this?
I mean, it takes a lot longer than what we even know.
Yeah, I
on
think
set,
it's like
because
at minimum 6 months that they, from the second that they go into production, before we even get there. At least 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's like the stunt team's out there, they're building the sets, they are getting ready for our arrival that won't be for another 6 months.
We're the paprika.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
we're the
sprinkly.
paprika.
We're the last
Yeah.
thing to go in the meal.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we're the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
rosemary.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. For
and
me,
it's important. Yeah, but you know, we're last.
It's kind of like launching a rocket into space. It's like so many people
Totally.
have already experimented before
Right.
us, they planned before
Right.
us, and then when we get there, it's go time.
Let's go to
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And then it's
And then
like
you get all the
set 10,
glory,
9,
but there's
set to
actually
launch.
these amazing creatives behind all of it that wouldn't happen without all of these creative minds. We just get to kind of front it at the end.
But
You're like,
really, as I'm watching your characters, really, that's what made me think of that question. And this is the only room that I'm asking that question. Because I'm like, look how together it's all coordinated. I know it with the entire ensemble, but when I'm watching your characters, I'm like, man, what does that take?
So you're like, Houston, we do not have a problem. Man, I'm done.
Dude, you know what? Dude, God, let me tell you right now. They say quit while you're ahead for real, man. Let me stand there like that. Dude, what's up? Who played the game back in the day?
We all did. All of us.
I did not.
Oh, you did not? Oh, I'm so sorry. My bad. Just go with it.
I loved it. It was
Just
my
go
favorite
with
game. No, I wasn't allowed. I wasn't allowed to play it.
Yeah, parents
I
are-
was. I
Yeah.
played it every Friday and Saturday.
I played it secretly. I wasn't allowed either.
Yeah, I was too naughty.
People were talking about the arcade version even, too. We were walking out the screen like...
I did that.
Dude, remember that?
And the home version. I played both.
You did?
Yeah, and I dressed up as Scorpion every Halloween for
Oh,
like
that's
6
cool.
years.
Awesome. Thank you all so much.
Oh,
Seriously.
thanks. So good to
Congrats.
see you.
Love your dog.
Thank you.
Wow. Be proud. Own it.
Thank you.
Y'all did a fantastic job in this film. This is why you go to the movie theater, to see it with a
Yes.
community.
I feel that.
I did in a theater. People I didn't even know. We were laughing.
Oh.
We were cheering. No spoilers. But it's just, you felt, and we were walking out of the screening going, who played the game? Remember the arcade game, which I'd forgotten about?
Yeah.
People were having those discussions. It's why you go to the movies. Tell me, what skills did you have to learn for this role?
For me, so I do have a martial arts background. I was a black belt in karate, and I did compete with the bow staff, though I did obviously Japanese-style bow staff and had to learn Chinese-style bow staff. So for me, it was very difficult of unlearning to relearn because there was certain muscle memory that I already had, and I was like, okay, I can't do it that way, I have to do it this way. And then as well as working with a very heavy bow staff at times was quite the challenge, and still make it look fluid and good. And so shouts out to Ivy, my stunt double, who like worked endlessly with me on being able to do that. So yeah.
Same question for you, because honestly,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
in awe
Yes.
of what you two pulled off in
Thank
this.
you.
It's tremendous.
Thank you. I started from scratch. I had started, I think that top of that year, I decided that I wanted to take up Taekwondo. So I had done that for a couple months. But there's only so far you can get with, you know, a beginner Taekwondo belt. And so I was definitely thrown into the deep end, but we had an incredible team and safety net for me to really incorporate elements of like Tai Chi, Wushu, Kung Fu into Kitana's fighting style. So I learned a lot on this set, and I had amazing people to guide me through all of it, which I'm very thankful.
Tell me about the props, because that's like another character in the costumes.
Yeah.
You both look amazing today, by the way.
Thank
you.
But your costumes in this film, the props, again, no spoilers, but there are some really cool things in this movie. What was it like to be around those all the time?
Incredible.
Yes.
It's so cool to
Yeah.
see, especially certain of the stuff directly from the video game. Brought like Shao Kahn's hammer.
Yes.
I was
oh my
like,
gosh, massive.
Right. I was like, this is so
Yeah.
cool. Your fans
Loved.
like my bow staff even like
Yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that, and then the way that with our costumes, the way that Cappy worked in, I think different iterations from our characters through time, I think was really special. So there's Easter eggs within there for the fans, which I think is going to be fun.
Yeah.
How long does it take to coordinate? Because again, one of the other things about this movie that I thought was really strong is the fact that it's fight scene after fight scene after fight scene. It is nonstop from the minute you sit down till it's over, and then even still keeps going. But it's how long does it take to coordinate each scene for you all?
Oh.
Many days and many hours.
Yeah. I think it depended on the fight. I think some fights took longer. Dare I say the Blue Portal fight, from what I heard, was a whole week. I mean, they did their own stunts. And they were Max and Ludi, incredible, with the incredible stunt team as well, but they very much held their own in that fight.
Yeah.
Our fight sequences were like 3 days in the jungle, 4 days in the jungle.
Yeah.
I mean, about a week each, yeah. You're going back to the same locations, you're doing the same moves from different angles.
And then the preparation for it too is like the working together, like constantly, either working by ourselves with the stunt team and like directly, or working together trying to practice. For our stuff also worked together outside of what would be our rehearsals, just to try to like get it down.
100%.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Yeah.
See,
Thank
kids,
you.
that's what Taekwondo can do for you.
Yes, exactly. Just get it started.
More than I do.
Things will come.
Good job, y'all.
Thank you
Seriously.
so much.
Can I tell you something that's kind of funny? You know what I'm going to miss about this trip? Having breakfast with you. You sat next to us every day in the morning, and you are one of the nicest guys. You are too. But you are so freaking cool to everybody that meets you and says, we've been watching you. We're not stalking, but you are so nice to
thank you.
fans and people and us.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say.
But it's been fun every day.
Try to catch me out.
No. What are you doing tomorrow morning? Let's go down there again.
Amazing contrast. Shao Kahn in real life is just pure angel.
Right?
Yeah.
What does it feel like to be a part of a movie that has to be seen in a movie theater with, we saw this in a theater with other fans. Everybody, I was screaming, I was laughing. This is a summer blockbuster. This is why you go to the movies. You're in it. What does it feel like for you to be a part of this?
Super proud, you know. I'm a gamer. I grew up with Mortal Kombat, played the game. For me, especially like what's going on in this world, we need a movie like this. We need a movie like this to kind of like bring trust. People go back to cinema, like you said
I
before.
agree with that.
This type of movie that can really help, give back that trust to people.
I feel it's a movie that
support
has
cinema.
to be watched in the
Yeah.
cinema. And I'm not saying you can't watch it at home, but I feel to really grasp it and to capture it and to enjoy it to its maximum, it needs to be seen on a big screen with other people around. And I feel like that's kind of where we've lost as an industry the last 5-10 years. It's all gone home.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's sad that that has sort of disintegrated and being lost. And I feel like films like this, and especially this one, will make people get off the backsides and go back in.
Again, when I said that, we watch it as a community.
Yes.
True.
People I didn't even know, and we were laughing, we were cheering. This is non-stop action. Like, it doesn't let up. Did it feel that way on the set? No, I mean, it had to have.
It was intense. It was absolutely intense because what you don't realize is the amount of work that you see on screen, you can double that for the prep that we did.
Yeah.
And the fight scenes we're pretty much going through them in our sleep. So then when it came to do them for real, it was so easy because we prepped them so hard and for so long. But for me, I can only speak on my behalf, being in prep for 4 or 5 hours, probably only having 5-6 hours sleep a day, because our turnaround time, it was tough. Yeah. It was tough. It's hard to sleep. It's hard to unwind. You've got to wake up. You've still got to train outside of filming. So we're all working probably, I'd say 16, 17-hour days in total.
I don't want to give anything away, but what were you wearing?
I normally tend to wear that on a weekend, not so much.
Okay. Again, no.
So underneath the helmet, you mean?
Yes.
That was prosthetics, and that was so thick and
Yeah.
time consuming, which was insane because you never saw it in detail or in depth. And that's how much went into the film to make it feel real. It was incredible. Honestly, I haven't released any of the pictures on social because I don't think Warners want to release anything.
Right.
What it looked like underneath in case future anything happens. But the work they did underneath the helmet was incredible. It was absolutely phenomenal, and it allowed me to really feel.
What was it like your first day looking at the sets? They're big, they're huge, costumes. Tell me what that feeling was like.
The feeling, well, the first, I think, NetherRealm, because behind, mostly in NetherRealm. So for me, like, something that for me, like, because that's like from the game.
Right.
From the game, and then they created, like, on set, like, exactly, you know, very honest, for the fans who love the game and are gonna see it on a big screen, that NetherRealm look on a big screen. For me, that's something that I'm super proud of to be part of it. And at the same time, I know for sure I was super joy that the fans are gonna go crazy when they see this on the big screen, IMAX. You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. NetherRealm on IMAX, it's insane.
For me, I feel when I walked into the screen, to the scenes, and seeing a huge statue of Shao on my throne room was so surreal. Yeah. And I just remember walking around the first day on set with the biggest smile.
I love that set.
It was incredible.
Thank you guys so much. Congratulations. Fantastic work.
Great.
This is why you go to the theater to see big movies, big summer blockbuster movies, and you did it. It's a great film. I laughed, I was cheering, I just got pulled into it. It's awesome.
Great.
Okay, we're done. I'm kidding. What was the pep talk that you gave first day of filming, the speech that you gave to the cast?
Well, I didn't really need to give any pep talks to this cast. I mean, they arrived ready, and maybe that's the process of just doing all of. They arrived into production, and they just went straight into stunt training, and it was just a constant process for those guys. Everyone arrived ready to go. They knew their characters, they knew the journey the characters were going on, and my job was just to constantly just balancing the tone and balancing all of the ingredients that we have in this film, of which there are many, and to be perfectly honest, the actors were the easiest part. They just nailed it.
Is there a certain game that you focused more on? And you don't have to give any trade secrets away, and we're not going to spoil it, of course, today.
Yeah.
But there's so much. People were talking about the arcade games, the old school arcade games. When we walked out of the screening, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Is there any one that you particularly?
Well, we didn't take from any one particular sort of version of the game. So one of the great gifts that Mortal Kombat being around for so long, there's so many iterations of the same thing or the same character, the same Raiden, Raiden's hat done so many different ways. But what I liked and what we sort of really focused on was there's this parallel between Mortal Kombat 2, which was a very successful arcade game, and this being Mortal Kombat 2. So I loved that we had that opportunity, and that the opening credits are kind of the best way that we sort of took that and used that as like an homage to and sort of paying respect to the success of the arcade game that we sort of all know from standing in, we've seen it, right? We know it. We know that typography, and we know, and so then taking elements from other versions of the game, like Blue Portal, for instance, that was the Sega Genesis version of Blue Portal that also had a red version as well.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, we need to, it's mostly the Blue Portal, but we also need to get the red version in there as well, because that was there. And how do we do that? I will sort of stitch it to Kung Lao's character as he comes forward. And so they were the really lovely things, and that was the creative joy of being able to take all these elements that Ed so kindly has given us over the years and bring them to a massive scale.
How do you keep the momentum going? I mean, this is fight after fight after fight. It doesn't let up, which I love.
Yeah.
But how do you keep that momentum going?
You mean within the sort of pacing of the film itself?
Yes.
Yeah. Just constantly assessing it, just constantly balancing it. I mean, we knew Jeremy wrote a great script, had really great ideas about how to bring the structure of the tournament in and how that was going to impact each character's journey throughout that process. And so it didn't just become like every character through every fight, every piece of action has some growth. I mean, Blue Portal is probably the best example where Liu Kang and Kung Lao face off with each other, and Liu Kang doesn't want to do it. So he's fighting a certain way, and then Kung Lao is fighting a certain way. So just the constant, it's just a constant process of just looking at what we had, balancing that, thinking about the kind of energy. And I had on in the production office, across a whole wall, floor to ceiling, I had every shooting board frame and every sort of concept art of Blue Portal or Deadpool, and it was across the whole wall. So I could stand there and I could look at it and I could sort of assess that, basically that question you asked, I was asking myself. So I was looking at that wall going, all right, how's that feeling, And that was part of pre-production, is just building that wall. So when people could come in, like Karl came in early and I was like, okay, so this is here, and everyone could sort of see the broad sort of brush strokes, and it was really helpful actually.